So in watching all the shenanigans going on with Elon Musk and the other guy whose name I never bothered to pronounce because he's so insignificant, but now apparently he's going to be sharing the role with Elon Musk of, is it is this new agency that's not really a government agency? Is it DOGE? Is it DOGE? I don't know how we pronounce it. So I guess I'll just call it DOGE for now. Um, because I just don't care because it's so ridiculous. These guys are so smug and so proud of their idea to cut all of this stuff out of the federal government. They want to cut all the waste and the stuff that just doesn't fit with the MAGA agenda. Um, so far, the MAGA agenda just seems to be we hate gay people or trans people and we only want white people in this country and we want all the brown people to go back to where they came from. Seriously, that's basically their agenda. So this new non-agency agency that's going to be in charge of shutting all this stuff down and getting rid of the waste and fraud, and I guess staffing all of the other federal agencies with Trump loyalists or something along those lines. Here's what they're going to find out, and I'm telling you this as somebody who is a communications director for one of the House committees, one of the authorizing committees. Every House authorizing committee has an oversight subcommittee. Okay, their function is to basically audit and get the money for and hold hearings to see if the money is needed, what programs are needed within the federal agencies over which those committees have jurisdiction. Okay, that is the function of the oversight subcommittee. I guarantee you that these two clowns don't even know this exists. One of the things we did, and I've talked about this before in the education committee, because we were not going to eliminate the Department of Education. So to make the so-called family groups, which are now, the evangelical MAGA nutcases, to make them happy, we launched this program where we looked at every federal agency, including obviously the Department of Education, to find wasteful and duplicative programs that could be cut out. And that was good. We found like 752 or something along those lines. That was a pretty good exercise. It's a worthy exercise for every oversight subcommittee for the authorizing committees to go through. And that would pretty much take care of this thing that Elon thinks he's going to do to come in and save the country. Because he has no idea how this works, He might be good at some things when that's already been built by somebody else. He's not good at Twitter. He's good at tearing it down. But he doesn't even know that this is how the government works. And he thinks he doesn't need to because we're just going to shut this whole thing down. Yeah, and that'll make Daddy Trump happy. Yeah, and by the way, eliminating the Department of Education, using the term eliminate in education in the same sentence is not going to work as well as they think. So this should be interesting to watch. But with regard to these federal agencies, they don't know that they already have something in place that does this and can do this. Now, it can take time and money for an oversight subcommittee to do these types of audits, so that's why not everybody is doing them. But they would, if Trump says, yeah, this is what we want, let's go ahead and do it, then this is what would happen. And these guys don't know that yet. So I'm watching this stuff and I'm seeing them just puffing up their chest, talking about all this stuff they're going to do, not understanding that there's already a structure in place to do exactly that. And in some cases, it's actually been going on. It's just not headline news because Washington does a lot of business that isn't headline news. That's why you have experts in the federal government who are not political loyalists to any party or to any president that do stay on, and some make a career out of it because they have this expertise. Okay. It's perfectly legitimate and laudable to want to cut the waste and fraud of the federal government. And I say go for it, especially since, that seems to be one of the things that they campaign on, although everybody kind of campaigns on that and it rarely happens. Sometimes it happens. Like I said, I just gave you an example. But these guys have no idea what they're doing. So they're launching a new federal agency, theirs, which is not really a federal agency and actually sounds like it's unconstitutional and illegal. But, Trump administration, we don't care about such things. We don't care about laws and norms and things that work. And yeah, we're just going to burn it all down. So I guess, are these guys now going to take over the Department of Education and use their building for the new federal agency. Let's get rid of one federal agency and we're just going to build another one. It's absolutely ridiculous. We're going to build another one to perform a duplicative function because we are too stupid to understand how most stuff works. And that's essentially what's happening here. The other thing they're stupid about is, farmers are now in a panic. Farmers who largely supported Trump are in a panic now because, oh my God, they don't have anybody to work their crops. So now they all want special exemptions, special treatment, which, hey, they might get it from Trump, but that pretty much means you're not going to be hauling out all of the undocumented people in this country and sending them home. It's going to see, we're going to see a lot of this. We're going to see Trump just backing up and running himself into brick walls over and over and over again. And it's going to be hurting his own supporters. It's going to hurt all of us, but the MAGA idiots that did this are going to be the most surprised, I should say. Some of us are actually preparing for this as best we can. I recently got a car. I replaced my old car and got something better, a couple years old, because I needed it. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking I better get this done soon. And if you have car repairs, you want to make sure you get those done because, especially if you have a used car, because the parts for the cars may not be available. Many of them are made in Mexico. Go figure. So go and get all that done beforehand, before the guys who are going to make government more efficient and smaller come in and basically ruin it and make life in America unbearable. So when Elon Musk and what's his name? VivekSmarmy come in and they with their new federal agency that's illegal and not really a federal agency to try and clean up all the waste and fraud. That's going to be interesting because they're going to run into some problems. And then where do you find the people to do it? Are you going to take them from these House authorizing committees that some of them are already doing it? That's another thing. Where are you going to find enough Trump MAGA loyalists to fill all of these jobs in the federal government that these assholes think they're going to get rid of these people and get in loyalists? What's going to happen is quality control is going to be gone. We kind of saw this with the Secret Service when they started packing them full of Trump loyalists. We know what they were trying to do on January 6th and surrounding that. We know that the Bidens had to go back to their old Secret Service, Social Security, their old Secret Service folks. The Secret Service is supposed to be nonpartisan. They are not supposed to be loyal to a president. They're supposed to be loyal to keeping any president or any vice president or any person that they are charged with protecting safe. That is what the Secret Service is supposed to do. Once MAGA infiltrated them and there were all these loyalists, quality suffered. And we know that because unless you want to go with it was staged, the assassination attempt on Trump was a little too close for comfort, don't you think? And that meant he had people that were personally loyal to him, but they sucked at their jobs. The Secret Service sucked at their jobs. There you have it. So that's just one example of what happens to quality when you start packing different agencies and organizations with partisan loyalists, and there aren't enough of them. Think of the MAGA people you know in your life. Many of you are going to be spending Thanksgiving with some of them. They are not the sharpest tools in the shed. There is a reason why Trump loves the poorly educated. And when you look at the demographic breakdown of who voted for who in this last election, it is the lower educated people, the low information voters who put Trump in office, and the bazillionaires, because they use the low information stupid MAGA people. They play them. They know how to manipulate them to get their guy in office, because then their guy in office is going to have giveaways and corruption and take care of the rich folks, and that's what they want. So that's what MAGA is. It's the rich, powerful people who are going to make out great, and with the corruption and feeding the beast at the top. They need these lower level people to be stupid enough to put Trump in office, because there just aren't enough billionaires and to do it on their own. And then you got the rest of us, which are normal people, who have to suffer because of all of this. Okay. But it is these same stupid people who, okay, they put Trump in office. Is he going to staff the federal agencies with them? And where is he going to find these loyalists, these MAGA loyalists from all around the country? Well, he may find people that are like, oh my God, I get to go work for my hero, my orange God. These people who are, the cult, basically. These cultists, these cult people are idiots and disturbing and not mentally all there, easily manipulated. Are they going to move from their red state cornfields and come out east and work in Washington, D.C. for the federal agencies? So, yeah, they probably will. They probably will do that. And everything will suffer. And you are not going to find the right people to even do this crazy ass stuff that Elon Musk thinks he's going to be doing for Trump. So all this stuff that Trump says is going to happen on day one won't. It won't. They are not going to be able to find talented people to come in and perform these functions in the federal government once they get rid of all the long-time, professional, trained, smart federal workers, government workers, and try and replace them with political loyalists. It's going to be a nightmare. I don't quite know what to expect. We want to take care of ourselves and our neighbors. But we do have to prepare. So I don't know what that means. Like I said, get your car repaired now or get the new car because parts might be expensive or hard to get. Try and get your medicines in advance if you can. If you can get 3 months stocked up, keep them on hand. Stockpiling of other things, non-perishables. I really don't know what to expect, but we know it's going to be bad. We know it is going to be bad. But when I think of what's going to be staffing the federal agencies once MAGA comes in and takes over, it's frightening. And I say this as somebody, like I said, I worked in Washington on Capitol Hill for many years. I was in DC for 30 years. So I have some familiarity with this. And it sounds so great to say, we're going to cut the federal government and make it, lean and mean, and we're going to cut out the waste and fraud. And, cutting out waste and fraud when you yourself are the most corrupt individual who's ever been in the White House is kind of, well, I was going to say it's a joke, but that would make it funny. And I don't think it's a laughing matter. I think we're in such trouble. But I think it's important that we keep tabs on these things and that we watch them run themselves into brick walls. And if you get a giggle out of it, great, because I will. I'm already laughing at these guys. Again, they're puffed up chest and what they're going to be doing, and they have no idea what they're getting into. So right away, as I noted, I think in an earlier video today, the farmers are thinking, holy crap. Why do we support Trump? The farmers in California mainly. And so they're going to ask for exemptions. And then you have to ask yourself, well, what would be the criteria for these specific exemptions? California didn't vote for Trump, but farmers did. So how do you pick and choose who gets these special exemptions? Is it going to be based on which states voted for Trump? Is it going to be based on certain crops? Is it going to be if they donated to the Trump campaign? How do you decide who gets an exemption? Will it be as willy-nilly as Trump handing out pardons? So I'm going to be curious to watch and see how all this plays out. And again, are we going to have a Department of Agriculture? Who's going to staff the Department of Agriculture? You're going to find MAGA loyalists? How does that work exactly? How does this work exactly? I'm wondering if maybe this was all just more talk by Trump because he didn't expect to win this time. But again, it's a clown car, and I'm devastated by it. But I am going to get a bit of a chuckle, so we'll be careful with that a little bit, though.